Hello folks, welcome back. Before we begin, there's a little mistake that I noticed, and it's on the store basket table here. The vibe is if we add an item like so, and we have a look at the store basket, you'll see that the IP address says 0, and that ain't too cool. This is a mistake, folks, okay? So let's change that, because the IP address should be a variable character. I've got it here as an integer of 11. I'm going to change it to a variable character of, and this is where the soap opera begins, because who knows? I had a look on Stack Overflow and nobody can agree on the maximum length of an IP address. Some are saying 45. You know what? I can't even be bothered with any of this stuff. So I'm going to say max length 60, okay, so if we do that, we've saved that, okay, so the first one's a bit of a mess, but let's try this again if we can, and we'll see if this works this time. So we'll go with this Jimi Hendrix Strat here, we'll have 2 of those, okay, and if we have a look at store basket, and the IP address is cool, although it's a bit weird because I'm on the local host, but that's cool. So that's just a little thing I need you to fix, folks. Sorry about that. If you could just change that column IP address on store basket, then we'll be ready to rock. Alright kids, so the vibe today is we're going to set our shop up so that it can take payments via PayPal. Alright, so we're going to have a button here where it says real checkout button here. The idea is you chuck in a button, a normal form button, and we're going to post some variables to PayPal, okay? Those variables will tell PayPal exactly what's going on. The person's going to be able to make the payment, and then eventually PayPal's going to post some information back to us, and that's going to help with order tracking and whatnot, okay? So that's pretty much it. And by the way, I can tell you that this is how lots and lots of shopping carts work. I mean, I have a client who wants a WorldPay integration just now, and it's exactly the same concept. Just posting variables, you know, nothing complicated. It's all cool, and you can do this. Oh, by the way, before we start, I'm really sorry about the sound today. You're going to hear a lot of this, okay? I've got a mouse here, and it's just the layout of this room's terrible, and I apologise, but hopefully it won't annoy you too much, and tomorrow hopefully we can go back to normal. Okay, so let's rock and roll. If you could bring up this page, it would be very cool indeed, okay? So I want you to just add something to the cart and all of that stuff. That's the vibe until we get this real checkout button here thing going on, okay? And what I'd like you to do is open up the modules folder, and we're going to create a brand new module, folks. This module is going to be called PayPal, and whenever we have a site that takes PayPal payments, you'll be able to just drop this module in and everything's going to be fine, you know. It's very, very cool and very easy as well, you know. I'm just going to set this module up and I'm going to talk to you as I'm doing this, because you know how to do this, right? So MDL PayPal, yes, there shall be a PayPal database table. I'll tell you about that in the next video, but in the meantime, just follow along. So here we go, PayPal models MDL, we changed that to MDL underscore PayPal. That's what I was about to say. Somebody in the Insider Club was asking what's the best framework, you know? And that's an interesting conversation to have, is it not? But let me give you my take, folks. In case you haven't noticed, we are in the process of building basically a sort of Legoland version of a website here. And when you build an app that kind of loads quickly, does a good job, the search engines like it has good functionality and all that, and check this, you can just drag and drop parts like this PayPal module. Folks, it's difficult for me to see how you can top that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of a challenge. I mean, I'm sure you can faff around with Composer and stuff like that, but really and truly, folks, this is a very cool vibe here. And if you're talking about what the best framework is, well, there's lots of fancy frameworks, but in my opinion, if you can build up a really good library of modules with Codeigniter, you will be fine, no doubt about it. And as a matter of fact, if you ever do some Angular stuff and you add that on to Codeigniter, then trust me, if you combine something like AngularJS with Codeigniter, then all of those other frameworks, whatever framework you think of, will be like Stone Age technologies compared to the stuff we're doing, Anyway, just thought I'd say that. Right, we're setting up the PayPal module. Are you setting up the module? Hello, is everything okay? Right, good, we have the module. Yes, indeed. So now I'd like you to open up the cart controller and look for a function called draw checkout button reel. Here it's here. Do you see that? And you'll notice that it takes in a query. So I'm going to load up in this function here. I'm going to say this load module PayPal, and then I'm going to say this PayPal underscore draw checkout underscore btn. Okay, draw checkout button. That's the vibe, and that's how we're going to do this. So if we now go to the PayPal module here, and we'll say function draw checkout button, right? The vibe is I'm going to set up a data array and I'm going to pass the query in like so, and then I'm going to say this load view checkout underscore btn, passing in the data. Okay, so now we just need to make a view file up inside the views folder, which is in the PayPal module, and it's going to be called checkout underscore btn.php. Okay, here we go. Thank you very much indeed. Now, just to prove that this is working, look, if we hit refresh, do you see? See how it's ready? Everything's cool, everything is fine, and we are looking good. Now, for the next few minutes, we basically just need to set up this form, and it's a case of, there's not really a graceful way of doing this other than just follow along, okay? Okay, so stay cool. Just remember, it's just an ordinary form. You've done this a million times before, and I'll keep you right, okay? I am your wingman. So here we go. We'll start off by saying echo form underscore open, one of those Codeigniter vibes, right? And here comes the form address. I'll read it to you. It's all lowercase. So the address is going to be https colon www.paypal.com/cgi -bin /WEBSCR. Okay, and if you have a quick look at the screen, that's the kind of thing we're talking about, folks. Thank you very much indeed. Now let's do a form close, just so that we don't forget to do that. Okay, so that's the vibe. It's just an ordinary form. And now I'm going to set up 5 hidden form variables, and here they come, right? It's going to go like this, echo form underscore hidden, and I'm setting up the form here, right? So the first one is going to be called upload, and I'll just do that for the moment, right? There's going to be 5 of these, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the first one is called upload. The next one is called CMD. Okay, that's the vibe, CMD. The next form variable is called business, and the fourth variable is called currency underscore code, and the last variable is called custom. Okay, that's the vibe, it's called custom. So let's go through these 5 variables and we'll set them up properly, right? So the upload variable, I'd like you to set that to 1, okay? Next, on this CMD variable here, I'd like you to set it to underscore cart, that's C-A-R-T, right? Underscore cart. Now, for this business thing here, that is going to be PayPal, a variable called PayPal underscore email. Okay, that's the vibe. Now, time out. We don't have a PayPal email anywhere. So let's set that up. I want you to go to Site Settings, open up the Site Settings module here, right? And maybe underneath our telephone number, something like that, we'll say function get PayPal email. And I'm just going to say email equals, and then chuck in your PayPal email address. So mine is david@dcradionetwork.com. Okay. And that's the vibe. Okay, so just chuck in whatever the PayPal email is. Obviously, you change that for different websites and all of that stuff, okay? So that's us, yes, indeed. And then go to the PayPal controller here, okay? And right at the top of this thing, I'm going to load up Site Settings. And I'm going to say data PayPal email equals Site Settings get PayPal email. Okay, job done. It's as easy as that. So that's looking kind of good. The next thing we've got here is currency code. Okay, now if you have a look at site settings, you'll notice that we've got get currency symbol, but the currency symbol is not the same as the currency code. So we're going to make a new function up on site settings, and it's called get currency code. Okay. And the vibe is, we'll change that to say code. And the code, it depends where you're from. For me, I'm using the Great British Pound for the moment, so GBP, right? But you might have to go for USD or EUR if it's euros or something like that, okay? So just whatever works for you, that's the vibe. Thank you very much indeed, okay? So back over to the PayPal module here, and I'm just going to say data currency code equals this site settings get currency code. Okay, so if we go to this checkout button now, we can pass in our currency code and everything is fantasticola. Now, the custom variable, this is a variable that we're going to send to PayPal, and PayPal is going to eventually send back to us. And with this variable, we're going to be able to identify who the customer was, what they bought, and what they had for breakfast and everything. Okay, well, maybe not quite, but you get the idea. So I think the best way, remember folks, the person who has made it to this stage has been adding things to the store basket table, right? So have a look here. We've got shopper ID, IP address, whole bunch of stuff. In my opinion, and I wonder if you agree, don't you think that the session ID is kind of cool? It's kind of a, unique thing. And after all, that's what's bringing up these items, right? So why don't we have the custom as a session ID, as the session ID that the customer who has the shopping cart has? Can you handle the vibe? Now, as you know, security is our middle name. That's right. My name is actually David Security Connolly, and it's very nice to meet you. And because security is my middle name, I'm not going to just pass in the session. I don't care if it's PayPal. I don't care how reputable they are. I am the most paranoid guy in the universe. So check this out. Onto the PayPal module, right? And where we've got this draw checkout button, I'm going to load up site security. Can you handle that? And then I'm going to loop through this query. So for each query, loading up result as row. And then we've got session ID equals row session ID. Something like that. Okay. And what I'm going to say is data custom equals this site security. And do you remember the encryption vibe? Site security. Do you remember the encryption vibe? Hello. Encrypt string. That's what we called it. Okay, that was the vibe. So if we go encrypt string and we are encrypting the session ID. There you go. See, how cool is that? So look, now we go onto the checkout button here, and where it says custom, we're going to chuck in our custom variable like so. So if we go to this page now and we hit refresh, nothing seems to happen. But stay cool, folks, because if you view the source code and if you scroll down, you'll see that our form is looking good and all the variables are super cool. Okay, so the next stage of this fun pack process is to loop through all of the items on the shopping cart. Can you handle it, people? We're looping through the items on the cart here, and we're going to build up some more hidden variables. We'll need that so that PayPal knows what on earth we're buying, okay? So let's do that just now. Here's how this works. I'm just going to bring this up here, okay? And we'll do a couple of lines here. And I'm going to set a counter. Count equals 0, right? Now we're going to loop through that query for each query, loading up result as row. Okay, nice and easy, folks. Let's add one onto the count. So count plus plus. Okay, and then I'm going to say item title is row item title. Remember, folks, this is the store basket table that we are looping through here, right? It's the items that the person has added onto store basket, right? So we've got item title, and that's looking kind of cool. Then we've got price is row price. Then we've got item underscore QTY is row item underscore QTY. And then we've got item underscore size equals row item underscore size. I'm just clarifying the variables. See, it's easy. Item underscore color. There we go. That's going to be row item color. Nice and easy, folks. And that puts us in a pretty good position. We have clarified all the variables that we need. That is very cool. So, okay, we've clarified them, but we need to turn them into form variables. Specifically, this will be hidden form variables. So I'd like you to say echo form hidden. And the first hidden form variable is going to be item underscore name. And then I want you to do underscore and then a little dot and count, okay? Remember, there may be more than one item, and that's the vibe, right? So this is going to have a value of item title, like that, okay? And there's going to be 3 more of these variables here, just to start with, right? So the next one is going to be called amount, okay? They don't call it price in PayPal land, they call it amount. And that's going to be equal to the price, okay? And the next one is going to be item QTY. Now, note that underscore count thing. It's very important. We need to get that right, okay? You need to write this exactly as it has been typed, you know? Okay, so that's us. Now, every item that comes into the shopping cart is going to have a name, it's going to have an amount, and it's going to have a quantity. That's just how shopping carts work, okay? But some items might have a colour, and some items might have a size. So check this out. I'm going to say if item colour does not equal blah blah, right? So it's not empty, it does not equal nothing. You can handle that, okay? Well, in that case, I'm going to say echo form hidden, and I'm going to say another variable which goes on0 underscore count, okay, dot count. Okay, I know it's all a bit weird, but that's how PayPal rocks, man. That's the way they do things, right? And we're going to call this color. So the vibe is, it's an extra option, and this option happens to be called color. Okay, now right underneath that, we're going to do another form hidden variable, and we're going to say OS0 underscore. Add on the count vibe, and then in here is where we declare what the value of this option is. So this one says what the option's called, and this one says the value. So the value is item color. I hope that makes some kind of a sense, you know. If it doesn't make sense, who cares? Just copy along. You don't even need to understand this. We're almost finished, folks, right? Almost finished. So here we go. Let's do another one for item size. So we'll just paste in and change that to say item size. And it's the second one along, so we call this ON1 and OS1, okay? And you folks will know that in computer land, 0 is actually 1, and 1 is actually 2, and all of that. And I got all mixed up too, but that's the vibe. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, miserable interjection, folks. I've just realised as I'm editing this that I forgot to write the word size. I forgot to write the word size. I'm so sorry. Just pretend I wrote the word size there. Can you handle that? And I'll fix it at the end of the video, okay? Sorry. Now, you can go through each of these and set shipping values, okay? So we could, for example, absolutely no reason why not. In fact, we could go up here like this, and we could say form hidden, and we could say shipping underscore count, okay? And then we could add in the shipping, and it will give us the shipping for that item. Do you see what I'm saying? So we add shipping on for each and every item. We could do that. And in fact, that's probably the best thing to do. But in this instance, we are being a little bit strange, you know. So I'm going to go outside the loop here, and I'm just going to say echo form hidden, and it's going to be called shipping. Now we need to chuck a number on here, so it's shipping underscore count, and then I'll say comma, and then we'll chuck in the variable of shipping. Now obviously we don't have the variable of shipping, but stay cool, because if we load up our shipping module, here it is here, you remember that we had a thing called get shipping, remember that? So I'm going to go into the PayPal controller, I'll say this, load module shipping, okay, and probably about here, I'll say data shipping equals this shipping get shipping. Okay, so we now have a shipping variable, and that shipping variable is going here. Now I cannot stress enough, folks, this is going to be adding one shipping on, and that's the vibe. If you were doing shipping for all those individual items and each item had its own shipping cost, then you would have to chuck this inside this for each vibe here. Okay, anyway, that's us. Thank you very much. And guess what, Chico? Yes, that is us. Crack open the champagne. All we do now is we say form submit. Look, it's as easy as that. And we can just do something like that. And everything is fantasticola. So if we refresh the page, you see I've got this submit button here. Oh, gee. It would have to align over to the left. Anyway, who cares? We'll make it look nice in a minute. But the point is, look, when we hit submit here, check this out. Here we go. Come on, don't let me down. It's taking a little minute. PayPal can be a bit slow. But look at this. See? It's taken us to PayPal. Look, we have a reminder of what we're getting here. Here's the items and whatnot. People can log in or check out as a guest and all of that stuff. It's very cool, and that's all there is to it. That is it. It's very cool indeed. But you know, I can show you a couple of other things that are even more awesome. we could also do something like function is on, how about is on test mode, okay? And the vibe here is, I'll say return true, okay? So set this to false if we are live. So the vibe is, we can go like this. Wait, I'll just show you. Data on test mode equals this, and then is on test mode. And then on the cart, check this out, or on the checkout button, we can do something like this. I'm going to say, in fact, let me just do this on the controller. I'll say on test mode is this, on test mode, right? And then I'm going to say if on test mode is equivalent to true, if we are on test mode, then data form location equals, and the vibe is you chuck in the exact same location as we've got here, right? With one key difference. One key difference. And the difference is you chuck the word sandbox here. Sandbox.paypal. Okay, I think that's it. I might embarrass myself here in a minute if I'm wrong. So otherwise, the form location is paypal.com. That's the vibe. And then at the top of the form here, we would just say form location. So this should now, if I hit refresh here, this should now go to the sandbox version of PayPal, which is for testing, right? I do hope I've got the right address in here. And I have. You can see it's a slightly different layout. It's more of a traditional vibe here. And you'll see if you look at the bottom of the sandbox thing here, it says test site, or it almost does, you know. So that's, I suppose that's how we know it's the sandbox, right? But that's basically it, folks. Now, the only thing to do before this whole video is finished is give it a nice button, okay? So to do that, I'm going to open up checkout button fake. Do you remember that? Checkout button fake. It was kind of a cool vibe. And on this checkout thing here, I'm going to paste that HTML code in like so. I'll need to go out of PHP. I'll need to go back into PHP. Okay, yes indeed. And we can take this stuff out here. We can take this stuff out here. And the type equals submit. So with a little bit of luck, that should give us a nice checkout button. Here we go. Okay, that's good. I'll take out this one here. We don't need this anymore. So look at this. That looks not too bad. And my phone agrees because it's making wee friendly noises. The button type is going to be success, just so that we can see the difference, right? So here we go. So it's a green button, go to checkout, and there we have it. All right, now before we wrap up, let me just do a quick edit here, and I'm changing this here so that it says size on that hidden variable, okay? You know, folks, there's always a good chance that I'm going to be making mistakes like that, and there could be other mistakes, who knows? Your best bet is to try the Insider Club discussion forum. Keep an eye on the forum. If there are any other mistakes, I'm not going to go back and edit them. So the best advice is keep an eye on the Insider Club discussion forum, and that's your vibe, okay? So thank you very much indeed, folks. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.